And welcome to For Such a Time as This roundtable. Roundtable had some technical difficulties, but well, same thing. Operator technical difficulties. Well, we're live now, and we are public, and you should be able to see us. And for anybody who is out there, please, 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 if you would, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, there's only one because we didn't have the public, but now it's public. Hopefully now people can come in, and hopefully people will saunter in now that we are public. So all that week that we actually put up on Facebook, it didn't matter.
It didn't actually get put up.
It didn't actually get put up at all. So, but that's okay. We live and we learn. Want to encourage people, as always, to go to our webpage. Here it is, for such a time as this .today. For such a time as this .today. For such a time as this .today, you could catch up on all the materials and be up to date on everything that we do. We're actually going to partner with another, seems like a Christian ministry that's going to really update our tech outreach. We had someone who graciously did the website for us, but he had to go get a new job. That's why he hasn't. Remember? Before
yeah.
he was supposed to help us with the marketing and whatnot. So that didn't work. So we have someone at the church here who has a friends in ministry, who I contacted, and that's their job, to integrate all of the social media platforms and to
that sounds great.
To market and to push. They said their job is to amplify Christian voices. So hopefully we will be able to start using them, and we will go forward with that. Thumbs up if there's anybody out there. Something's not. Now this is technical difficulties because we're losing the stream. Hold on. Yeah, we've lost the stream. Hold on. All right, seems like we're back again. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Here we go. All right, seems like we're up and going. Technology. But let me go back again. Encourage people to go to our website, for such a time as this .today. For such a time as this .today. There you can get all of our new materials. So topic tonight: have Australia and Canada become police states? If you would, give us a thumbs up on the chat to let us know we're coming through loud and clear. Let us know we are past the technical difficulties and that we're coming through loud and clear. If you would, please give us a thumbs up. Topic tonight: have Australia and Canada become police states? With that said, thank you, Jack, coming in loud and clear. With that said, I'll turn it over to Abigail Ruth. Take it away.
Okay, so I don't even remember how I've been meaning to kind of look into this this whole time because I see things here and there about how locked down they really are. And so I finally did. And honestly, I was shocked. But let's start here, Pastor James, with the first slide, and let's give. And police state was the term that came to mind when I started looking at this stuff. So let's start with a definition of police state. So from Merriam-Webster Dictionary, police state is a political unit characterized by repressive governmental control of political, economic, and social life, usually by an arbitrary exercise of power by police, and especially secret police, in place of regular operation of administrative and judicial organs of the government according to publicly known legal procedures. And I really do think this fits. Now, we don't have secret police yet, but
How do we know? How do we know?
Well, at least the people who are standing up and protesting what's going on there haven't met them. So I'm assuming that there aren't secret police. But I will say, and maybe we'll get into this a little bit, that the police themselves are trying to act in secret. They are trying to arrest people outside without witnesses, shall we say. So according to everything else except the secret police here, I'm going to say that these really do qualify in both Australia and Canada as police states. Now, let me say also, though, that let's talk about Victoria's fourth lockdown, first of all. Fourth lockdown. And I'm probably going to get the two confused because they're very similar. What's going on in Australia and what's going on in Canada is actually very similar, and I've been looking at both all week. But so these have not been short lockdowns, by the way. Victoria has extended its... Okay, first of all, they went into fourth lockdown June 3rd. Okay, not very long ago, and I believe they're coming out of it at the end of this week. But listen to what was going on when they decided to lock down. Again, 0 deaths. 45,000 Victorians were tested, and there were only 4 positive cases. Only 2 people are in the hospital with COVID. No one is in intensive care. They have been able to trace all cases, and 2 cases are nursing home residents and a nurse. And the nursing home resident actually had both vaccine. So why are 6.68 million people still stuck down in yet another lockdown? And this just blew me away. If you look at what we have on the screen here, the total number of deaths...
police state.
Oh,
is what we have.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at both of them. I can see the stats now. Bring up the next one.
So that would be image 3.
That would be image 3, yes. The total number of deaths in Australia from COVID, guess how much? 910. And for that, they have locked people down now, off and on, in very draconian ways for, 15 months? Can we bring up the slide number 2? Let me just show people what I'm going to be talking about here. So I'm going to be talking about, it seems to be worse in the province of Victoria. You see the red arrow there. Victoria is at the southernmost part of Australia, and Melbourne is, of course, the most populous city. This is the most populated area of Australia, by the way. So it is better.
Melbourne?
Both Victoria and Melbourne.
Okay.
And Victoria, and Australia is somewhat like us, which this gets confusing, but each one of these provinces, I'm not sure if they're called provinces or states, Western Australia, Northwest Territory, I don't even know, New South Wales, etc. They get to kind of make to a certain extent.
They're
it's
like states.
Here. Yeah, they're like
states in the United States.
The rules are a little bit different because in New South Wales, it's a lot less repressive. But we're just going to focus.
So that's a red province.
I don't know. Well, it may be because the Victoria is actually run by the Labour Party. So obviously that's liberal left. Okay. But let me just tell you what these restrictions consist of.
And the reason why this is, I'm sorry, Abby, before you go on.
Yeah.
The reason why this is important is because if you don't think that Christianity is under attack in some parts of the world and that it couldn't come here, you are sadly mistaken. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of before when we talked about this show, I said I feel like I'm looking at what they would like to do here,
Yes.
but they can't quite get away with yet.
Not yet.
But here's where the heart is. Okay, so this fourth lockdown, when can I leave my house? You cannot leave your home unless it is for one of 5 approved reasons: shopping, authorized work or education, exercise, caregiving, or compassionate and medical reasons, or to get vaccinated. So there is a jobs list. Some jobs are authorized, of course, just like some businesses are authorized here and some aren't. How far can I travel from home? You need to stay within a 10-kilometer radius of your house. What are the rules for exercise? There is a 2-hour limit on exercise. It can only be with one other person.
What do you mean? You mean exercise mean leaving your house?
Yes. Or if you want to take a walk, whatever, or run, whatever you do, you still must stay within a 10-kilometer radius of your home. What are the rules for wearing face masks? Masks must be worn everywhere except your home. So if you walk outside of your house, you don't have a mask, you can get in big trouble.
And we complain about our mask policies.
Yeah, exactly. This puts it on a whole new level. This includes both indoor and outdoor areas, unless you have a medical exemption. Can I have visitors to my house? No visitors allowed, other than an intimate partner.
Wait. This is going on in, June 9th, 2021? Are we talking about when this first happened? Or are we talking about today?
It's going on today. The lockdowns.
Oh, okay.
But it is ending soon. I believe it's ending at the end of the week. It applied until June 3rd, but then I think they extended it. If you live alone, you can make a bubble with another person who can visit you. I'm not even sure what that means, but it sounds so stupid. I can't. Okay.
Yeah.
What about public gatherings? So here's where we start thinking about church, right? Public gatherings are not allowed in Melbourne. Can I dine in a restaurant or cafe? Not in Melbourne. It's open for takeaway only. Are the shops open? Well, here we go. Essential retail such as supermarkets, gas, pharmacies, liquor stores, and banks will be open, but other shops only for click and collect.
Liquor stores.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it says bottle shops. I'm assuming that's what they mean. That's their term for a bottle
They're
shop.
not talking about Kool-Aid.
No. Can I go and get vaccinated? Getting vaccinated is one of the reasons people who are eligible to receive the jab can leave home. The Victorian government has expanded eligibility, so they're actually behind us on getting people vaccinated. So they're only working 40 to 49-year-olds can now. That's what they've extended it to. So they don't have quite as many people. And if you are found breaking these rules, it says that Victoria Police can issue on-the-spot fines of up to $1,652 for adults and $9,913 for businesses.
Okay.
And people, if you're caught not wearing a mask when required and do not have a lawful exemption, it's a $200 fine.
Okay.
So let's take a look at the video, Pastor James.
First one?
The one with the mom and, let's see. Oh, I didn't mark that. It was the mother and the daughter.
Yeah,
okay. Hold on. I have to check.
I think it's 4.
It could be. I marked it, but then I got rid of that.
When there's been no harm done.
No, it's not this
From
one.
our church to the community.
So sorry, everybody. I sent you 2 on the first one, right? 3, 4. Christina and her daughter Megan. It's
Hold on.
oh, they're not labeled. I sent these way too late to Pastor James this week. Let's see. I want to say 1, 2. Oh, yeah, it's number 2. Looks like number 2.
Is it number 2?
Well, it's the one that's second over.
All right, here we go.
Hello, Arthur. How are you doing?
That's not it.
No, that's not it. I am so sorry. I can see it on my news, but I don't know how you have them labeled. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was, number 2, because of the way it's situated here.
No. All right,
In
here.
front of me.
Set this one up again.
Okay, so this is a 12th grader decided to get some exercise. That's allowed, right? 2 hours worth, as long as you stay within 10 kilometers of your home. And she decided to wear a sign while doing it in front of her school. And the sign, you maybe it won't be able to read it or not, but it says "Back to School." That's all the sign says. And so the police come after her.
Here it is.
Hello, Arthur. How are you doing?
Hey, you missed yesterday.
I know. We just
Sorry. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm not going to argue with you. You have your options. And that's
Because you can't argue? Because you're charging me with no grounds whatsoever to charge me? I'm walking up and down the
the
sidewalk.
reason why you issued the ticket.
No, you did it. I just asked you. Exercise. It's not like exercise. I'm not allowed to use my...
Exercise initiative.
Well, I'm not just... Okay, so what about him? Are you going to go give him a ticket because he's outside
We're
biking?
not going to argue.
Really? Okay.
You've been charged and you have your options, okay?
She had posted some of the event on TikTok, and I mean, it had well over 1 million views. Much of it was, but yeah, the hate was overwhelming at times.
Was it directed at you guys?
It was directed at her personally. They picked on her clothing, how she spoke, and some of it was certainly violent. Like it was.
As a mother, that must be terrifying.
It was hard, just at this, because it's just like, this is my grade 12 daughter who just literally just wants to go back to school, and to think that she should have a death threat for that seems a little over the top.
A death threat?
Yeah.
So I didn't realize TikTok was in other countries. I guess TikTok's all over. So she posts this on TikTok, and she gets the hate and the death threats from people on TikTok. Why? I don't quite
I believe
understand
so.
that.
Well, because she's endangering people.
By going outside,
Right.
with
That's
a sign.
why the police were there. She said she was walking, exercise allowed, right? But she was walking with a sign on that says "Back to School," and she was walking in front of her school. So I do believe they got tickets and a lot of pushback from the public. Now, there have been polls done, and let me say that most Australians, 80 to 85%, think that the lockdown has been a roaring success because they've only had 910 deaths. So they think that this is terrific. So I'm sorry, I banged on the table.
They're so
Ooh.
blind.
Deluded.
Wow.
Blind.
Wow.
Right.
But again, can this come to America? I hope not. I find it hard
People
to
are
believe.
fighting back.
I find it
now.
hard to believe that we could get to that point in America. I just think we have a different mindset.
We do.
I just
We
think we have a
do,
different
and
mindset.
now that there are like reports coming out about the damage that masks have done. I saw something just today. It was a little girl, and I don't know if it was her father or a doctor. She had 5 staph infections on her face
my
because of
goodness.
masks.
Ooh.
And one of the things that I get a lot from both people that know me and people that don't, well, they're really not that harmful. Why can't you just wear them? I go, they are. And if you're putting things on your face, even the hospital ones, the medical ones that people are wearing. Have you seen the microscopic things? People have been putting them under a microscope. Some of those things are from China. And you know what's in it?
Asbestos. I read that.
Besides
somewhere.
asbestos,
Some of them.
there is actually, I'm trying to think what the name of it is, a viral or there's something in it that's a living organism. It's like, and you're breathing this in. So even if you let's say go to the cotton, Our cotton has been chemically treated. So anything you are putting up over your face, you are breathing into your lungs, is not healthy. It is very important to breathe fresh air.
Yeah, I feel bad for the people who have to work, who are required
I
to
would
work
quit.
in them.
Yeah.
Well, we don't all have to. If everyone would just say no.
Yeah.
But they're not going to.
They're not going to do that.
Well,
Too many
I'm
sheep.
going to keep preaching.
Too many sheep. All right, so the next clip, set that up.
Yes, and so they must have gotten a lot of pushback on this, but because I do believe this clip is from January, but they were going to use drones to make sure that people weren't too far from home. They can read your license plate.
Yeah.
And actually, the newscaster is going to talk about it.
Here we go.
Police are preparing to launch their aerial arsenal as part of a crackdown on COVID rule breakers. High-powered drones will be used to find people not wearing masks and cars too far from home.
Sky-high surveillance as we battle to control COVID. Over the next week, Victoria Police will dispatch drones. They'll be keeping a watch on St Kilda and Port Melbourne Beach, making sure skate parks and playgrounds remain empty. And for those who head to the park, a mask is a must, or at least a face covering.
Are they knickers? Yeah, it's my knickers.
Police have also been using drones to guard the New South Wales border. There are concerns this style of policing won't end when the pandemic is over.
I think it's very important that we come up with rules, with laws that can also have things like sunset clauses, so there's an end point for any kind of technology or new powers that police might use.
There's no escaping this high-powered aerial arsenal. It can be flown for 7 kilometres. The camera is infrared and it's so clear it can read a vehicle's number plate from 500 metres away.
Doesn't really bother me. I'm doing the right thing, so I've got nothing to hide.
I reckon they're doing a good job, the coppers, and good on them for doing that.
Tegan Dolling, 7 News.
It doesn't bother me because I'm doing the right thing.
Right.
It doesn't bother. Oh, unbelievable. Greatland Guardian says America will follow suit. Tyrants know no bounds. I'll say this, Greatland. They're going to try. I believe they're going to try.
Yeah,
man, I don't know. I find it hard to believe. Maybe I'm wrong. I find it hard to believe that Americans. I don't think we're not Australians.
No,
we're not Australians.
Well, some of us aren't.
Some of us aren't. You're right.
There are still people, wandering around outside with their kids in masks. And I just saw that yesterday. So the other play, and it's not just, I heard today some terrible stories about Germany. I only looked into these two places, and I remember the reason it got my attention again after all these months was my father had planned a fishing trip into Canada, and it was supposed to be for this month. He had to cancel it because Canada was still closed down. Mm-hmm. So now get this. It was a fly-in fishing trip, which means what they do is they take you and drop you off at some lake in the middle of nowhere with your supplies, and they come back in a week to pick you up. But not even that was allowed.
In the middle of nowhere?
Yes.
Probably Boundary Waters.
No, it was further north than that. Okay. I don't even know what.
Canada's
full of
I'm
lakes.
trying to get past. I can't get past the point. Drop you off in the middle of nowhere. What's your dad doing?
It's in there's a fishing. They have a kayak.
No. I ain't talking about fishing. I'm talking about being dropped off in the middle of nowhere. What does that mean?
The middle of a forest on a lake in the middle of thousands of acres and
your
miles
dad was
going
to sleep out in the forest for a week?
Well, with a bunch of guys, yeah.
With a bunch of guys.
He loves doing this. He does it
power to him.
All the time. This is like what he looks forward to.
All right. Sleep out in the middle of a Canadian forest for a week?
Right. On a lake. He loves to
Couldn't
fish.
be me. Okay, that's fine.
Me
that's fine.
either, but this is his thing.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's okay. But so anyway, so that's actually what triggered me to look into this now. Mm-hmm. And then I found out that flying into if you enter Canada, mm-hmm. you have to quarantine for 14 days. which includes a mandatory 3-night prepaid booking at a government-authorized hotel at your own cost. You have to submit a plan. You have to tell them how you're going to quarantine and where you're going to quarantine. You will receive live or automated calls. You have to answer these calls and answer all questions truthfully to demonstrate your compliance with the law. And any violation of this can result in 6 months in prison or up to $750,000 in fines. And this is still up at the Travel Canada website.
The globalists are making their move.
Oh my goodness! So I'm like, what's going on?
Well, you know what? I follow a few people on YouTube, and one of the guys that I really have enjoyed watching, his name, I think it's Viva Fry. He is a litigator turned YouTuber. So he's a father, and he picks up like just court cases and different things, and he's in Quebec. And they were in lockdown with very little hospitalizations and stuff, couldn't even go out. And he said, he had his dog, and he was out at night, and he was filming, and he would be on there and stuff. It was ridiculous. He says, and this is not even justified. So some people are fighting back. Now, I'm just going to say, you will not see on regular newscasts people fighting back. They don't want you to see that the people are up in arms.
That's right.
But every country, Holland is one of them. Germany's another one.
I know Guatemala is.
Yeah. Well, they're having all over Europe. Italy. They have had it, and people. They showed them clashing with police. The police were beating up people.
We've got
in the
that.
street.
It's coming up.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's not just these two.
No, and in fact, Canada, the interesting thing is with the Canadian media, really quickly, their media is like PBS. It's government funded. So whatever you find out about they don't cover this. It's all, it's government sponsored media. So you have to get it from independent journalists in both places, both Canada and Australia. And these are just guys that have set themselves up, very tiny staff, sometimes just themselves and a camera, and go out to these things and tape. And that's what you have to rely on to find out what's going on.
Well, but if we don't be careful, it will come here. And that's why so many things have been popping up on Rumble and stuff like that. There are people organizing, and I don't know.
Yeah, because obviously we're censored here already. Yeah. So, and as far as you were talking about Quebec, Lisa Joy, they had a curfew.
That's what I'm talking about.
If you were caught outside at night without valid paperwork to prove your exemption, you got a $1,500 fine.
Well, they got in trouble, too, because they actually refused a homeless person from buying certain things because they weren't essential. And he goes, and that's why this guy brought it up on YouTube. He goes, this guy doesn't have, and he died.
Oh,
he wasn't able to get socks and stuff like that, and he wasn't inside. And he's out on the streets. And so there was some big things. So even though there's terrible things going on, there are people fighting back in every single country. And I just want to point that out because you're not going to see it.
Mm-hmm. And let's take a look at that as far as the church is concerned. Let's take a look at some of those videos, and you can pull up any of them, Pastor James. There are actually, I want to say 4 or 5 pastors who have been arrested in Canada.
Here's one of the things we have to realize, that the end goal of all globalism is to destroy the church. Mm-hmm. Globalism, Marxism, socialism is, I believe, a form of Satan taking control, the demons, the powers of the air. And at the end of these so-called lockdowns, don't be fooled by the droids. Don't be fooled by the mandates. Don't be fooled by the government's willingness and eagerness to help us. The end goal of all globalism, socialism, Marxism, is the destruction of the church. If Christians just get that in their heads, roll clip.
just happened there?
So we were being pushed out of, obviously, the park. As I was moving, I was just simply asking a question, for what reason am I being moved on for? And then just simply for asking those questions, they decide to, assault me and take me to the ground and, do their thing. Completely ridiculous. I mean, they need to tell me the reason I'm being moved on for. But I think the fundamental reason they're doing this, it's pure intimidation. Anyone who dares either speak out or actively put themselves on the line to disobey these arbitrary show directions, they come out in force to prove a point. Like, we're the state, get in line. That's what it is. It's communist-style policing.
Just to put into perspective, the state gathered these resources to stop the threat of this group gathering because of COVID-19. This group is okay to gather, no threat to health. This group, praying to Jesus, that's the threat to society.
And that's the end goal of all of this. We have to remember, it is a war against the church. It is a war against God's people.
Yeah, there's no question. Ultimately, that is where the battle lines are going, even if people don't realize it yet. That was a church service. They closed down, they couldn't go in their church, so they're having it outside in this park in a gang-infested neighborhood. In fact, the reporter said, normally you can't even get police to come here.
The police didn't come from the gangbangers, but
Right.
they came for the church.
Exactly. And you saw that they were they're brutal. And the thing is, I heard, I don't know if it was Ezra Levant or another media guy say, at the beginning, and he was talking about Canada, in the beginning, police would say, we're not going to enforce these edicts that you're issuing to the health department. And now, he said, it looks like they're enjoying it. In the space of 15 months, things have changed a lot.
Yeah, but these attacks have focused not just on the church, but church leaders. They're making examples of church leaders.
Like the Romanian pastor.
Which was he Romanian or Polish?
He's Romanian.
I think he's Romanian.
He's Romanian.
Him and his
Canada.
brother were, and they waited until they were on the highway to make a
it's
scene.
Here. So this is the.
And let me say this, because that is one of the patterns. We're going to see a little video clip by another pastor too, who is actually on the run right now. But he told police, I will be at church on Sunday. Come, if you're going to arrest me, come and get me. But they wouldn't do it because they don't want the audience. They don't want the video. They don't want people seeing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So even though they don't have some secret police yet, the police are trying to operate in secret.
So here it is.
Hello, Arthur. How are you doing?
Hey, Adam. You missed yesterday.
I know. We just got the news right after. A colleague happened to pull up right after it happened, so we've been keeping up to date. Over 1 million people have viewed the video of your arrest already.
Wow. Well, here's what happened after the video. I was thrown like a piece of meat behind the police vehicles, and I had to go for about an hour and a half back of police car, laying down on my handcuffs. So I had bruises all over the face, almost broke my shoulder. So that was until we got to Spy Hill. Then, of course, the processing unit. With my brother, we were taken to 2 different separate cells. They're not allowing us to sleep. So 24 hours I can't sleep. The lights are so bright, it's absolutely crazy. Even though other inmates, for example, across from my cell, they turned the lights off and he could go to sleep. I don't have that same courtesy. We do not have blankets. We do not have pillows, nothing. We had to spend the whole day yesterday and the whole night and half a day right now on a in a circus. From time to time, police will come and just look through the window, like a trophy. But I'm in a good spirit. I'm not going to quit. It will not silence me. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, because if I don't have freedom, then I have nothing else. If we don't have freedom to worship our God, then what else do we have? All the rights around the world, if you don't have the freedom of religion, all the other rights are disappearing as well. We have to stand up. And Christians, rise up, stand up right now. I mean, if not now, then when? I know.
If not now, then when? You know what? It just dawned on me. Sometimes it takes time for my brain to catch up. I'm getting older. But in my mind, I remember when we posted this, it was in my office, and it actually came up on Facebook, and we said it looked real good because it automatically populated. It was public then.
Oh, you're right.
Somebody switched it to private. Just to let you, I remember that now, because we looked at and we said it looked really good. How is this going to
fit? Because it's a rectangle.
And it looked really good. Somewhere between when we posted it, I don't know, somebody moved to private, and I know I didn't do it. They're messing with us. That's what's going on. But anyway, there you have it. The pastor. They are. This isn't good. To live in Canada now as a Christian, you will be persecuted. I think that goes without saying at this point. And again, maybe I'm naive. Maybe there's something coming that I don't see. Maybe I don't want to see it. I think America's a little different. They haven't done that yet in America, because if you do that, you might have some problems.
Yeah, at this point you will.
You will have some problems. And I think we Americans who live in the United States of America, we need to be careful and vigilant, because I think this is happening worldwide and globally because people are letting it. But the question would be, well, let me ask both of you all. Sooner or later, they're going to try to do it here. What are you comfortable with conservatives / Christians doing in order for that not to take place in America? Because they're going to try it. They'll try it in California first, probably, right?
You mean, where do you draw the line is what you're asking? Is that the question you're asking?
As Christians, what do you do?
Well, I think these pastors are right in what they're doing.
Sure.
I mean, their churches have been literally shut down. Okay, so recently they allowed 15 people or 15% or something like that. But for 15 months. Mm-hmm. And in Canada, Canada has had as many deaths as we have had, in all of Canada, as we have had here in Illinois. Mm-hmm. It's virtually the same. So this is not about the disease, obviously. This is a political crisis. Arthur Pawlowski, I don't know how you say his name, but I think coming from Romania, he recognizes what he's seeing, even though many Americans don't.
And Venezuelans in America recognize what they are seeing, too, in America. And I'm telling you, the Venezuelans never thought that their country would be where it is today. Mm-hmm. Never thought, but they didn't have the Second Amendment. You know what? I was saying, what should we do? Yes, we should pray. We should pray. But yes, we should pray. I think it's a little more complicated than that.
Well, Pastor Coates' church, now he was arrested. Yeah. He was in jail for over 30 days.
Yeah.
And his church was meeting underground. Because you should have seen, I don't know if anybody's seen the pictures of it, but they surrounded it with these huge chain link fences.
I saw that.
In fact, they basically occupied it for some time. The police did. It was amazing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that the church couldn't meet.
Yeah.
Again, and this is a virus that has almost 100% recovery rate.
Yeah. Yeah. So here, the next video, another pastor in Canada he's continuing to explain just how far gone Canada is when it comes to the persecution of the church.
So we can get down to the arrest, I suppose, what actually went down that day. First off, though, you talked about the increasing pressure on the church, and it's come out very recently that apparently Tyler Shandro specifically instructed that specific people who are considered high-profile offenders be targeted. Have you felt that there's been a targeted persecution against you or other Christian pastors specifically? What's sort of your impression on what's been going on?
What's interesting is there's been a few voices that have been vocal against us, whether that's on Twitter or in the media. But for the most part, what we've heard from people in the community and from people who've been contacting our church is mostly positive. People are very supportive of what we're doing. And so it's been difficult that way in knowing that there are a few but very powerful people who stand against us, but yet you have a wide base of support among Albertans in general. And our church at Fairview is right in Minister Shandro's riding. And so I've written to him many times. I've written to the Premier over this last year, but all of the correspondence has essentially gone unanswered. Just simple emails back. Basically, here are the guidelines. You need to comply.
So what I want to encourage everybody, hey, if you are subscribed to the channel, click that little bell button so whenever we go live, a notification will come up on either your phone or your computer. Okay. It's clear now in Canada, they are targeting churches, they are targeting pastors that are willing to go against the state.
And they're not trying to work with anybody. No.
Totalitarian governments don't try to work with you.
No. And the point is, the spirit that is animating these government officials is the same spirit that's animating them here.
Yeah. They're just picking and choosing how to go about doing it.
Right. It's a vision. I just was struck by the idea that's a vision of our future.
Yep. Yep.
Essentially, or so it seems.
Yep. And what is the likelihood that this is going on in Canada, in Australia, in the EU, in South America? What's the likelihood of it? That is all just one big coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all.
There's a mind behind it.
There's a mind and spirit behind it. Okay, here's the next clip.
When there's been no harm done from our church to the community, there was no crime. There was nothing deserving of jail, and yet they would be part of that. It's really unjust.
Well, and particularly the show of force. If an officer walked up to you and said you're under arrest, you wouldn't fight them. You're a peaceful man.
They would be part of that. It's really unjust.
Well, and particularly the show.
So, yeah, without any need to, force is being used.
Yes. And that's in both places. That's evident in Australia too. Just unnecessary brutality by the police. I mean, people complain about the police here. I have never seen videos of our policemen. Rodney King. I mean, there have just been a handful over many years.
Rodney King happens every day in Melbourne. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, I don't know about that, but I was shocked because they were brutal. But there's one. Okay, so we have one. I don't know which one it is, Pastor James. Let me see.
There's only one more left.
Oh, okay. Let's play that one because.
Okay.
We had to have this one.
Yeah. Oh, let's play it.
Man is a maximum security prison, and so whether you're a pastor going to church or whether you're a ruthless murderer, you're in the same spot and you're treated the exact same way. And so whether that's a strip search, whether that's being held in shackles, all of that is part of it. The most difficult thing about it is when you're in there, and especially even because of COVID, you have so little contact with your lawyers or with those on the outside. And so going in even into my hearing on Monday, I asked the Remand Center and then again at the courthouse to speak to my lawyer, but because of COVID, my lawyer wasn't actually there, and there was no way to communicate, and some of the guards weren't that helpful. And so I went into that trial or that hearing without even being able to contact my lawyer beforehand. So I just felt like this was just adding to the injustice of it, that they would put me there, and then that I would really have no way to vocalize to my legal defense, what we should be doing as we stand before that judge.
And you're not the first person. Numerous pastors have waited a day to speak to their lawyer, which is an extremely concerning thing to consider as far as your experience. You have a right to talk to your lawyer, and they grant that to the most extreme criminals and thugs, and here a pastor can't even speak to his lawyer to decide how to go forward.
All right. There you go.
So they aren't even following due process.
They're not even trying to.
No.
Why would they?
So, yeah, equality under the law. Good luck with that.
Yeah. And again, we shouldn't be doom and gloom, right?
No.
We there's no way we should be doom and gloom. But
I think you do have to be sober-minded.
Yeah, I was about to say, you should be sober-minded to the point to where hey, this is what's going on. Now, we don't want to be like the Jews, the people from Judah. Nebuchadnezzar is on the march toward Jerusalem, and we're saying, the Lord is going to save us. And Jeremiah is the only one saying, the Lord is not going to save you. Because, why? Because you have been disobedient to the law. Now, I love my country. I think we were born in almost probably the best time ever in human history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Few societies have ever enjoyed the amenities we've enjoyed. But the church has to get back. This country has to repent. We've got to repent. We have to repent.
Over a period of months and after the issuance of multiple tickets and repeated attempts to educate, members of the Public Safety Investigations Unit obtained warrants of arrest for 6 individuals.
Like I say, too, it's not like it's all bad because, I look at a lot of people I love, and unless they lose faith in this world, I don't think they will ever look at the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
All right, let's look at the last video that I believe you wanted. You started at 21 and it goes
21 to 49.
21 seconds. And you just go to 49 seconds?
Yeah.
So about 28 seconds. All right. Here we go.
My rights and freedoms.
And they try to nab us at the same time so that nobody would stand up and protest for each other. And they have these conditions that say we're not supposed to be talking to each other. If that isn't communist tactics, if that isn't Gestapo style, I don't know what it is.
To anyone who's thinking that they should break the public health orders, that I've come up with an 11th commandment, which is obey the public health orders. And I would encourage everyone to make sure they do that.
If my faith is not worth dying for, it's not worth living for.
My personal belief is that the province is overreaching with this. Unfortunately, they have convinced the justice that whatever grounds they had was enough to issue an arrest warrant, and so a warrant has been issued.
My ancestors.
All right.
That's gutsy. He thinks he's God. 11th commandment.
Yeah.
And did you see the look in his face?
No, I was trying to figure
Oh my goodness. Who is that? The prime minister of
that. He's the chief of that province. I can't think of the title.
Like the governor.
He's evil.
He's like the governor.
Yeah. Of the province.
Recap. What again did he say again? Recap it again.
He said, if you're thinking about breaking the health, what did he call them?
I've issued an 11th commandment.
Yeah.
Follow the public health orders. That's Brian Pallister, Premier of Manitoba.
Oh.
He's bad.
Oh.
Wow.
Apparently someone is saying that this is going on in LA County, and LA police is doing the same thing. Really? I didn't hear
Here's
that from
you
LA.
know what they're doing in California? They are forcing handicapped people to get the vaccination jab against their will. The police was going around and giving those vaccinations. So there are things going on everywhere around, I'm thinking, oh my word. And I don't know about everyone else, but I don't think the lockdowns were just for, I mean, the end game was the vaccination. I'm sorry. They want people to take.
Just be careful if we want this video to stay up.
Jab.
I think
follow the money, man.
I think Tucker said something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Peter McCullough said it too.
And Peter McCullough said, yeah, the end result was the jab. That it had nothing to do with.
And I think that a year ago when this first started, I sent a video link, and I can't find it now. Mm-hmm. And people chastised me at the time that I sent it. Oh, that can't happen. And everything on that video. And it was from a South African Christian. Do you remember that I sent?
I don't remember that one either.
I sent it around and I got chastised by a lot. Oh, you shouldn't be sending these scary things around. And every single thing in that video that they warned us about has been a part of this.
Well, lift up your head, for hopefully your redemption draws near.
Yes.
And regardless, Christ continues to sit on the throne. He will never get off of it. And I think Christians, we should just, but we should always understand the big picture, the big game here. The big game is, I believe, regardless of whether or not Christ is coming back soon, which I hope he is, which I think he is, the enemy clearly is making his move against God and his people. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back, not next week. Next week, we're going to do some live from the Southern Baptist Convention. And we'll be back in studio 2 weeks from tonight. Until then, God bless and have a good